Welcome back to Two Brothers Comics. I'm Dustin. We've got some breaking news on the biggest book that's coming out this week, possibly this year. It's been a hot topic of late. If you want to hear what we got to show you today, stay tuned. All right, guys. So we talked about The Last Ronin on Friday, and I had a special guest. Considering what we found out today, there was only one person that I thought of that would be appropriate to bring on. That way you're not just taking my word for it. You're getting it straight from the gigantic horse's mouth. And when I say gigantic, there's only one person you guys could think of, and that is Mr. Josh Olive of one of our LCS's, Haven Comics owner. What's going on, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Although I think this shirt describes my mood today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I definitely think that that's definitely a appropriate shirt. Sometimes I've tried to think of a word and it just jumps right out my head, and I can't. Sometimes I get it back. Sometimes I don't.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. So we got people in the chat asking what's the bad news. Now this I was not aware of. Error prints have been reported 10%. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if it's quite 10%, but I've seen some reports on all the retailer forums of people saying what happened to my book. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So as people start rolling in, thanks for hanging out, guys. I know everybody, this isn't going to be a long stream. We're going to cut to the point. But you know, we've already heard and we've talked about the fact that they were about 130,000 copies short on the estimated print run that was necessary to fill all the orders from all the shops. And they did offer a buyback program with these.
That's actually why I think I think that's what bit them in the butt out of the gate, right? They said we're going to offer all this returnability, so the risk is not on the retailer anymore; it's on IDW, right? So that's them showing they have faith in their product. I'm all on board with that. If you're putting out something you're proud of and you think people should read, you take on some of the risk, right? So then I think people said, well, heck, I think I can probably sell this. Let's see how many I can sell. So a lot of people ordered way above and beyond what they would normally have ordered under any other circumstance. And I think that number was starting to scare IDW. So they looked at it and said, oh, I think that's a lot more risk than we were wanting to take. So this is my conspiracy theory, and I've talked to Dustin about it, is these guys purposefully cut the order short. They purposefully undercut it. Because that does two things. One, that takes some of the risk off of them from a financial standpoint. And two, it artificially inflates the expected value of the book because now it seems scarce. Even if it's not legitimately scarce, now it seems scarce. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And everybody wants a copy of this book now because they heard that they're rare and they're not going to be available. So prices are going through the roof. It's insane. So they
probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah, right out of the jump, if it didn't make my life as a retailer difficult and make my life as a fan difficult and make the life of all my customers difficult, I would think this was a really great business move. Honestly, kudos to them. Smart for them. But good Lord, what a nightmare. Because we had no notice really until they said, hey, by the way, funny thing, you guys placed all these orders. We appreciate that, but you're not going to get all of your books.
Yeah. And I actually got to read the solicit that they sent you guys, and it said in there, they even said this was directly from IDW, correct?
Correct.
that they were about around 130,000 copies short in that solicit.
Yep.
So for everybody that may think or have heard or has the mindset that this is a low print run for this issue, I don't think it is going to be a low print run. But like Josh said, artificially, it's going to appear that way. Now they immediately put out a second print for issue number 1. The FOC on that was yesterday. I believe if you want to talk about a low print run, I think that will be much lower print run than this first run. But
I actually think it's going to more like mirror the initial release of TMNT, and there's going to be a third and a fourth and maybe a fifth print.
Yeah, probably.
And I think you're going to get, the way that things are these days, I think you'll have more value associated with some of those later printings just because they are actually going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. So we know the second print is due to hit shops December the 2nd.
Right.
Now that date is very important for everybody in the chat to remember. December 2nd. Something that happens every week on Tuesdays on the Haven Comics Facebook page. If you guys aren't on Facebook and liked on the page for Haven Comics, make sure you do that, because every week they do an unboxing. Miss K. Lisa brings all the books in that they received that are going to be there for the Wednesday, and she shows off everything they got. Now, I usually try to do any and everything I can to make sure I watch it and that I'm there, going to extreme extents sometimes. But
you always like to be the first one, and even if you're up inside a ceiling and you got your phone hanging off of a sprinkler head or something, I know you're on there, and that's awesome. That's commitment. That's what makes you a top fan.
That's it. That is it. But today I definitely wanted to be there because I wanted to be able to see what these books look like, because yes, we knew they were going to be oversized, but
boy,
I was wondering, are they going to be a card stock? They look like trade paperbacks, man. They look cool.
They do look very good.
And of course I wanted to see that 1 in 10, that 1 in 25, and that one per, well, it's not a one per store, it's a thank you variant. For per 75 copies you order, you get one of those up to 5 copies. That was another thing that was not made aware to any of the shops prior to the solicit that they sent you guys when they told you you're going to get shorted.
They're calling it a thank you variant, but it's more of a we're sorry we screwed you variant.
Right.
Is what, and that's even how they, as an ameliorating sort of a thing, like we're so sorry, we're going to actually try to do something to ease your pain and suffering since we just hosed you guys. And this is where the rub comes in, right?
Yeah, this is the breaking news part, the bad news part of this, because and I think I even noticed it like a little before Josh did, and I kind of brought attention in the chat because she's showing off the regular covers, shows off the 1 in 10 and the 1 in 25, which are in separate.
And I'm like, show the other cover, and she wouldn't do it. And I was like, why won't she do it?
And why would she not show off that one thank you variant, the foil cover, the one that's supposed to be available for shops to sell at a premium per the letter from IDW in order to help ease the pain on not having all those to sell? Why couldn't she show that off, man?
Because it wasn't there. Because we didn't get it, and because nobody got it. You got to read the initial solicit, right? And it did not indicate. It talked about the variants being released the same day as the regular cover, right? So that was everybody's expectation. In fact, that apology variant is not going to be available until that date we just talked about, December 2nd, when the second print comes out.
Yep.
So yeah, that was big news to everybody. I called Diamond. The stream was still happening this morning. The unboxing was still going on, and I'm on the phone with Diamond. And the guy I talked to is like, yeah, no, you're not supposed to get that until December 2nd. And I'm like, oh, no, Monfrere, show me where that's the case. And he's like, well, I'm sure that that's the case. And I told him, you must pull this up and read it to me. You tell me where it says that. And he pulled it up and he goes, well, "Oh man, it's not on here." I said, "No, you're going to be getting a lot more phone calls today than just this one." And so he told me he expects that Diamond was going to release a statement today. I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't expect that that's very many people were aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some people give me some grief, like, man, what did you expect? Because they have their books printed overseas and it takes time to ship them, and they didn't have time to print more of the first issue regular cover. Why were they going to suddenly have time to print the variants? But they told us the variants were already done.
Mm-hmm.
We had no expectation that they were going to be late. But yeah, if anybody's looking for that apology variant, that one per store, that or 1 in 75, what have you, if you're looking for that, not available anywhere until December 2nd at a minimum.
Yep.
So we wanted to make you guys aware, because Dustin saw that earlier this morning, and he and I talked a little bit. He said, let's get online and push that out so people are aware of that, because everybody's going to be looking for that book,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not there to be had.
Yeah.
We have 5 weeks to wait.
Yep. And hopefully it'll be out by then. I mean, the way
if
this
that shows up damaged.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
Well, you saw how they were put in the boxes today, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to come damaged because the boxes are not sized for a comic book of those dimensions. So what they do is you've got 2 stacks of regular books, boom, boom, with a divider in between. They put a paper thin piece of cardboard on top of that, and then they just drop those other books in there sideways. No padding, no nothing. They're sliding around everywhere. So if you get one and it's in good condition, rock on for you, because it's very poorly packed for what it is. They're not designed to handle anything outside of normal comic book dimensions, the boxes that they use. So that's super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dollar Ben, you're asking what's another month? On the one hand, it's just another month. Who cares? But on the other, we got people looking and got people asking, and
it's just been a bad.
When you try to tell them, hey, it's not available, and they haven't heard that anywhere else, and that's not information that's out there, then they start thinking that you're trying to spin some kind of a story on them, and that you're up to something. And I got no business.
Shop owner, that's how they look at it. Yeah, absolutely. They look at. Yeah. They start to wonder, like, well, I haven't heard anything about it. You're just trying to pull one over on. And so that was pretty much the point of it, and that's that's the way that me and Nick always try to look at things, because we're so much for the local comic shops, as we've gotten to know you and the guys at my shops. We talk a lot. We're good friends, and we get to hear and see a lot of things that a lot of people don't, from your perspective. So that was the way I looked at it as too, and also, I mean, that's, you when you ordered those, you probably were expecting a certain return for this month based on your original order of that book. So getting this promised to you was looked at.
I was actually expecting it months ago when it was originally supposed to come out.
Right, and this one single issue with the foil, that was going to kind of be a little bit of a buffer to help pad, that part of it, and now that's not here, so you got to kind of relook at things again, and we don't have to get into all that, but I think the biggest thing has just been like this last Ronin, as exciting as it's been and as much of a positive thing as it's been, there's been so much miscommunication and things like that attached to it. It's just been like, it has definitely been a whole process to get this book out. It seems like I'm still super excited to get it. I can't wait to read it. I reached out to my shop today and asked if they had them in yet. I was going to see if I could come by and read it at the shop or something, and I didn't get to. But yeah, we just wanted to at least make everyone aware so that they're not running around all over the place tomorrow looking for this one copy, because it's not going to be there.
Yeah, that unicorn exists. It just doesn't exist yet. Right.
So mark your calendars, December the 2nd, when your second printing comes in for issue number 1. And then this isn't going to be a monthly released book either.
No.
It's going to be like every couple of months, I think. But with the size of this thing, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, the size of this book, I mean, it is a big book. It looks like it's got a nice gloss cardstock front and back,
Yep.
square bound. So hopefully, being that it was printed and binded that way, hopefully that'll help with a little bit of the keeping them from getting damaged. But
They were
we'll
pretty
see.
sturdy, I will say. It's not whatever cover stock Boom Studios uses is about as good as there is out there, and this is a different stock from that, but it's pretty good stock. And the books were put together pretty well, albeit some of them have the wrong things in them. But no, on that front, from a book's perspective, it's made to survive a little bit of wear and tear. It's just if it can survive the wear and tear that it gets in a diamond box, that's a whole other question.
Now, what have you heard? What the error stuff is going on with it? I haven't heard anything about that yet. So
I've heard there's an error in general in the book, and I've also heard that there's just been some print errors where like pages are upside down and that kind of thing in some people's copies that apparently ran for more than just one or two. It's not just a onesie twosie kind of an oops.
well, hopefully, as long as it's not story affecting. I mean, it's still aggravating, I guess, that there's errors, but if it's not affecting the story and everything's there and you can read it, I mean, could you imagine, like, after all this, everybody gets the books and, like, there's stuff missing and we don't get the whole story? I would be like, oh, my God, how long do I have to wait to read this book?
Yeah, who dat? No, we did not have any errors in ours. Ours were all normal.
Yeah, and
just for the record, that's a good story. I liked it.
Oh, you already read it? Oh, man.
I can talk to you some about. I'll tell you something about another book that comes out today in some places. If you're one of those, if a store is opening today and selling it, but mostly, at least at my store tomorrow, is Batman 3 Jokers #3.
Okay.
You're not gonna like it.
That's what Nick told me.
At least not at first glance. You're not going to like it. I think if you read it and you sat back and thought about it for a little bit, you might like it. But 3 Jokers #3 does not end with the kind of like kapow that you want it to. It's not a big uppercut knockout blow. It's more of a long, slow poison. And the reveal just changes things at a fundamental level for a lot of characters in the Batman universe. But it's not that it's subtle, it's just that you have to think about it and see how it does that. But it absolutely changes things fundamentally for quite a few people in the Batman universe, and it's incredible.
Okay, right on. Well, that's exciting. See, you guys got to get a little hot take from Josh on a book that it came out today, but I know a lot of people don't. I mean, I know I do. I don't make 2 trips to the shop in a week, on Tuesday and Wednesday. I pick everything up on Wednesday because that's new comic book day.
I only read it because we already got it. I had to process them and all that. But
I was helping back to back build some new walls at the shop. Excuse me. They expanded their shop, and I was up there Saturday helping them build some new walls. And Johnny was bagging and boarding them, and I almost read it, but I had to get back to the house. We had to get a birthday party together this weekend, so. I thought there might be something else I was going to add, and I don't remember what it was, but
the only other thing I was going to say, and I may be wrong here, I may have missed something, but is this the first on-camera debut in a live show of that spinner rack behind you?
This is the first appearance of the spinner rack. That is correct, and it is awesome, man. It is awesome.
Look at that, man. That is sharp.
Look at that, man. I got a little piece of Haven Comics here in my personal studio. And to me, that was even cooler than having the spinner rack was having a little piece of Haven here. That was awesome. Bring a little Haven to Georgia.
I think you definitely need to put a Two Brothers comics topper on the top. Thing.
I thought
that's a great idea.
Yep, definitely thought about it. So I'm gonna keep the books changed
those
out.
Those timeless variants are popping on there too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Got some Sabretooth on there. With the big full moon in the background. So I'm trying to do a little bit of kind of like dark Halloween-y horror looking stuff on there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to change this thing in and out every month and add some new stuff to it. It'll be fun. But yeah, so that was everything about the last Ronin, guys. For those of you who are just tuning in, hit the rewind, man. Hit the rewind. Hit the rewind, Steve. I see you made it in late. Hit the rewind, bro. Now I see everybody in here saying thanks. We appreciate the update. Yes, mark your calendars. Thanks for hanging in here. Now I do want to give just a tiny little shout out. You guys, if you watched our top picks today, Jared, I don't know if you watched our top picks today, Jared, but you need to go watch our top picks today, man. And you got to watch it to the end. You got to watch it all the way to the end, Jared, because we made sure we gave a big shout out to Jared Lewan, and another congratulations on selling out the first print of Dryfoot #1. Tomorrow, the second print comes out with an awesome Scarface homage. It is in the pull list. I can't wait to get it. Yeah, guys, hope everybody is able to get out tomorrow and support your LCS and get the books that you are looking forward to having this week. Make sure to be right back here with us tomorrow night at 7:15. And we're going to do the new Comic Book Day haul live stream. And that's always a good one too. So thanks for hanging out. And for everybody watching, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. If you're watching on the replay, do the same. If you haven't subscribed, there's no excuses. Just hit the button, let it go. Hit the button and enjoy, man.
You want to. Smash it.
That's right. Josh, thanks for hanging out, man, and helping me to deliver this information. And
happy to.
Yep, man. It's always good to have you on here for sure. And yes. So the 1 in 10s and 1 in 25s are going to be in shops. You're probably more likely at this point to find those than you are the A cover in some places, because I've talked to a few shops here. That was the other thing I was going to ask you. Did it seem like you did receive the 80%, the full 80% of your order? Or did it seem like it was more
weirdly, we got exactly 80% plus 1 copy.
Okay, cool.
Now, I'm seeing other stores that got more like 20%. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Or in one case, I saw a store that had 10%.
Yeah, I mean,
these guys are chapped. And
my shop got about 8% because they ordered about, I think they ordered like 57 or 58 copies. They got 5, not including the 1 in 10 and 125. So they've got 36 people who have a pull list there, and every one of them had multiple copies on the pull list, and they have 5 copies to hand out. So we're gonna have a Royal Rumble tomorrow at the shop, and
I bet.
I plan on walking away with one. I'm just saying. I've seen most of the guys walking in there. I don't think they can take me. I might have to bring old Lucille with me to the shop tomorrow, but I'm coming home with a cover A. I guarantee it.
Well, let me know how that works out for you. I want to see you beaten and bloody, but holding your copy.
No doubt. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. We are going to go ahead and jump off of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for the new Comic Book Day live haul stream. Thanks for hanging out, and as always, collect your way.